Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Larry Marlowe Lunsford, and I am here to talk to you again about the person by the name of David E. Taylor, who goes by multiple titles: apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, and teacher. First of all, I want to say thank you, everyone who've made a comment. Whether the comment was good, whether the comment was bad, whether I agreed with it or disagreed with it, thank you so much. Okay. Also, I do want to say I've noticed a lot of people in the comments are from David Taylor's staff. And like I say, I expect you to roll with your homeboy. I have no problem with that. Okay. Majority of you, I can tell that he had a staff meeting and probably talked to you guys for about 3 or 4 hours trying to figure out the next move and to discredit me, because I noticed there were certain keywords. The main keyword was I'm an idiot, I'm a liar, there's no truth to what I'm saying, I'm a Pharisee, uh, accuser of the brethren, that type of talk. As a matter of fact, there was one gentleman, and I'm going to read just a little bit of what he commented. He says, "People, don't be so easily deceived by this guy. First of all, he has no credibility to back up anything he claims." And then again, he goes on to call me an accuser of the brethren. Okay. Again, I said in another video, I don't mind taking that type of criticism. Let me start from the bottom. Okay? I'll be anything and everything negative that you want me to be. But I want you to know they call me St. Louis Larry. And St. Louis, Missouri, is the show me state. So we believe here in Missouri, don't talk to me about nothing. Show me. So let me show you. This is a full copy of the deposition. Okay? It says State of Michigan in the Circuit Court for the County of Oakland Family Division, and then it lists the plaintiff and the defendant. And this says deposition of David Taylor. Now, these are not my words. These are the words of your holiness, Pope Creeping Deacon David E Taylor. In the deposition, he was asked about a child. The lady said, facilitating the deposition, she asked about his two children. She asked what was their name, first, middle, and last name, how old were they, and their date of birth and the year they was born. Okay? So he answers the question on the first two children. Then she asks him, do you have any other children? David, yes. And then he gives the name of the child. He says, or she says, how do you spell that? He spells the child's name. And she asks, what's his middle name? He says, I don't have that. Stop right there. A word of wisdom is when you prophesy to someone and you telling them something about what's going to happen in the future. A word of knowledge is something you're prophesying to them, but it's talking about their past. Yeah, David, I saw you going over Michelle's house last night at 3 o'clock in the morning. I saw this in the spirit. See, that's a word of knowledge. Okay? That's a word of knowledge. So you mean to tell me, David, you can give everybody all over the world a word of knowledge about their name, their address, and this and that and this and that, and you don't even know your own child's middle name? Please. The lady says, facilitating the deposition, you don't know his middle name, your own child's middle name. David. No, I don't think he has a middle name. I don't think he has a middle name. Okay. And his date of birth. This is the good part. Y'all say that I'm lying, but okay, the show me state. I'm going to prove to you. Okay. And these are not my words. These are your pastor's word. She asks, and his date of birth. David says his date of birth is February, and he gives a date. And then he says, look, listen to this, so he's talking about 1990 something, right? I'll be a gentleman. I'll be a sport and give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say he was going to say 1999. Okay? He said, no. Sorry. I'm sorry. 2003. Okay? So how do you jump from 1999, which I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, to 2003? That's a 4-year difference. How do you not know when your child is born and there's that much wiggle room? Please. Okay. Now, these are not my words. These are David Taylor's words that you guys are defending and saying that I'm lying about. Okay? Because we're still talking about the issue of fornication. We're still talking about the issue of adultery. And we're still talking about the issue of idolatry. Okay. And she says, any other children? He says, that's it. Now, she goes on to say, minutes later, she said, were you married to this child's mother? Mind you, this is in 2003. This is the time where he was in St. Louis talking about the latter rain glory gonna hit St. Louis like never before, which we seen clouds, but they didn't produce no rain. Not the rain that he was talking about. This probably was his 666 or 666 visitation going up to the throne room of God. It was right around that time. You know, now it's over 1,000 visitations from God. 1,000 heavenly whatever in the throne room of God. All right? But listen to this, y'all. She said, were you married to this woman? David's answer is no. No. Which means that David committed fornication. He also committed adultery because he was married. Now let me reiterate, because the story stinks to high heaven. When David came to St. Louis, Missouri, David was engaged. He was supposed to do like a 3-day, 1 to 3 day circus here in St. Louis. Well, it turned into a movement. Okay, people coming in from all over the place. to see David preach and blow on people and do what y'all see him do right now. Again, a young lady said, I like that man. Ooh, I really like that man. He humble. He light-skinned. He got pretty hair. He dressed nice. He real forceful. He know the word. And all the stuff that a woman would see in Apostle David Taylor. And they ended up talking. They go out on a date. David asks her to have sex with him. They end up having sex. Now, mind you, David is engaged to another woman, and he's at the height of doing these crusades at this church. Telling people that he's been going up to heaven while he's doing all of this foolishness with a woman that he's not married to. Plus, disrespecting the woman that he's engaged to. Well, the second time they have sex, she gets pregnant. Okay? She gets pregnant. So what David does is calls off his engagement to the woman that he was supposed to marry. Now, can you imagine what he had to tell her? And knowing him, he didn't tell her the truth. So I can only imagine how she was feeling as a woman. Like, what's wrong with me? Why did this man call it off with me? What did I do? God, I know you showed me that this man is my husband. You know, I can only imagine what she was thinking for something just to be cut off like that. Just cut your love off. Just like this. Hold on, y'all. Just cut your love off. Just like this. That's how easily David cut this woman off. Just like a light switch. Then he covers up his fornication, which is spiritual adultery in the eyes of God, and marries a woman who he didn't love. And they have a baby. And the baby is a receipt of fornication and spiritual adultery. Selah. Now, all of you that gave me all of the flack and I'm this, I'm that, and then you tried to assassinate my character and all that good stuff. I understand. You don't want to see your apostle in that light. I understand, because I never wanted to see him in that light. But the truth is the truth. And I think it's about time that you accept it. Because once you accept that, you literally accept in Christ. Remember, sin is the absence of truth. Wherever there's sin, God can't stand. So if David Taylor is still doing the same thing that he's been doing, that means that he's sinning. But as long as he's sinning, wherever he is, there's going to be absence of truth. And a lot of you keep saying, oh, I've seen a lot of people, millions of people all over the world be healed by David Taylor's ministry. I've seen people get out of wheelchairs. I've seen people get healed out from cancer and delivered. Even said that I was delivered from mental health issues and all of this stuff. A woman was raised from the dead. Yeah, I get that. That's not my argument. See, that's God's gift at work. And whether David repents or choose to obey God, that gift gonna operate regardless. Again, if you tell a bird stop flying, the bird gonna look at you like you crazy, and he gonna take flight, because you can't take flight from a bird. It's his natural gift. So when you go to a crusade and you walk in and you see the spirit of excellence, that's not David. That's God on David. It's a gift. When you see somebody get out of a wheelchair, that's not David. That's a gift in operation that God blessed David with. So I expect certain things to come from David, but it's his gift. David taught me very well one time. He said, Larry, your gift will always carry you further than your character can keep you. David, I paid close attention to you. And again, sometimes we'll do well to look in the mirror and just have a talk with ourselves and take our own advice. And when you do that, David, you're going to come up with the conclusion that you're not loyal. You're not faithful. You know, I'm reminded of a word, just even me saying what I just said. I'm reminded of the word pistis. 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 And that's a Greek word, right? And it actually means loyalty. It means that you're able to put your confidence or trust in another person. It also means you're worthy. Somebody that's worthy to be trusted. Pistis, it actually means faith. Now, the opposite word of pistis is apistis. Apistis, which means unfaithful, not loyal, not worthy to put your confidence or trust in another person. Imagine that. Psalms 25 verse 19 says, to put your trust or confidence in an unfaithful man during a time of trouble, it's like having a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. Now, I watched the movie Misery when the lady had the guy on the bed. She put the board in between his legs and took the sledgehammer and that's a broken foot there. And I can tell that that's pretty painful. However you get it. I don't know anything about it, but I know it's painful. But me personally, what I've experienced is a broken tooth. And when I had a broken tooth,